What is he, did he say what he's doing? He's just pulling cars?
I have no idea what he does with them. The truck he claims, I said, what do you do with the truck? I wanna pull a head off it. That was 3 years ago. Well, you know, it's just, I don't know. I have no idea what he does.
Okay.
Down where he lives, he has all kinds of junk cars too, so.
Okay,
Uh,
what's his address then? Is that?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah, it's-
What's the last name?
I'm good.
The
I think
person?
it's, McCool, Nathan McCool. Quigley's grandson, that's what it is.
What is it?
Quigley's grandson.
Oh, okay. We'll contact Quigley's grandson and see if we can get this remedy.
What enforcement do we have?
Well, you're not allowed to have a bunch of junk cars. I think you can have one unregistered, but other than that, you can't have,
But what do we need to do to get this thing so he can't have any, people can't have any there within sight of, you know, something gotta be written up
A
that.
citation can be issued that can be enforced through the magistrate's office. That's something that we can do, it's not something you can do.
Right, okay, I understand it. How do we eliminate that cars can be parked, there's a place for cars. This provides for a junkyard. That's what this mainly reads about, junkyards and being permitted and all that kind of
That's
stuff.
probably not zoned though, as a junkyard. Yeah,
No, that's definitely not, that's conservative, conservation.
this would follow the same kind of process we did with the other one,
Yeah, I'm hoping we can come up, I don't think this,
Yeah, there's a way to get this corrected.
okay, all of them, not just down to one.
okay.
That's my issue, it shouldn't be any there, where that, somebody can look out their front door 30 feet away, sits junk cars and, you know, in and out and all that stuff, so there's nothing we can do to rewrite it?
Well, it's possible, we can rewrite the ordinances, but that takes process, that's not gonna be done in one
No,
meeting.
I understand, yeah.
Because we need to, see what the problem is, rewrite it, have it advertised, and have a public hearing, and then we vote on it. So it would take a little while, but it's something, you're right, we do want the township to look at.
Yeah, that's what,
Well, that's the junkyard ordinance that you're looking at.
I came here and asked for what applies to what I have, and this is what
Okay.
they gave me.
Right.
This says, yeah, 120,
Yeah.
and then the old one says bill number 76, ordinance 148. I think it's been updated, and I think 120 must be the newer part of it, I'll say,
Yeah.
so.
Unfortunately, we don't have our zoning officer here tonight, and the, former zoning officer, usually he's here, but I think he's just coming back from the mountains, so.
So if you need me to help you write this new thing, I'm just gonna start the process,
We'll
I
give you-
don't care if it takes a year or two,
Yeah,
you know,
it won't take a year.
yeah,
But
that's,
we'll look at that, and we'll have somebody go up there and take a look at that
yeah,
property.
this stuff.
There's probably a better ordinance that will already apply, but
I appreciate that. It shouldn't be that I can look out my front window and see any junk car. You know, that carrier flat with glue in there, don't even have a hood on, there's no windows in it.
Looks like the tires are flat.
Yeah, it's junk, that's what it is. So, all
Okay,
right,
we're gonna take care of that. Thank you.
do I hear back then, or do I just?
You can contact us again,
All right.
but give us a week anyways.
I'll just come back to the next meeting.
There you go, we'll be here.
Thank you.
Yeah. There's cards out in the vestibules, out in the lobby, so if you wanted to pick up one of Josh's cards.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello, good evening. So I just wanted to bring something I saw. I was just looking through,
And your name and address,
oh,
please.
I'm sorry, it's Sherry Rippetell, 495 Heights Mill Road. So I was just looking through minutes, going over amendments for the data center, and I'm not gonna keep you long on this, but looking on the planning commission's minutes for September 22nd, there was noted that Kevin came and he spoke to everyone about, his proposal of a data center, and he talked in there of a conditional use, okay, which, for those of you that don't know, conditional use means that you're following the established norms, customs, and accepted policies, okay? When he wrote the amendment, if you go back and look at the amendment, he actually changed that and They can come in and build, and build, and build, and never have to ask for a permit. And they can do whatever they want. Us as citizens, we have to ask for permits every time we need to do something at our house, whether it's blacktopping our driveway, getting electrical work done. So basically, I just made up a little thing about it, so that you guys are aware. I don't know if anybody else, I was just sitting and playing around, just reading. And
Okay, and you're reading what, a text amendment? Is
I'm
that-
reading the text amendment that they
Okay.
turned in, and I'm also reading the minutes from when he was personally in here talking to you guys about it. I have it all highlighted, and I have samples with it.
Are you talking,
You're talking planning commission, you didn't talk about.
But no, planning commission, I'm
Oh,
sorry,
okay.
this was the planning commission, but I just wanted to bring it to your attention,
okay,
because like I said, I was just sitting and doodling and reading, and noticed the discrepancy. You want that one?
thank you, Sharon.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's not funny. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Do you need me to take a watch and try to do that? Let me know. Just so you can put it on. Okay, good deal. You too? Awesome. Good job.
The managing partner of
Okay, listen to me.
Tucson is Mark Glass. He's president, was president and CEO of White In 2003, he built a conspiracy charge in federal court, 8 years sentence, $500,000 fine, fraud, and falsifying financial records. I'm kind of curious why we're getting business with, people that are notably not reputable. My other question is, why is a foreign LLC drafting our laws and amendments instead of our local elected representatives? Why is Elysion establishing our zones? I just gave you the paper there in the front. It has listed in the amendment what he would like to see as our zones. It asks from being data center, so I would like to know why that is being done. What would the data center's cause of action be in a suit against the township for not allowing it to be built? What specific law would the township be violating and exercising their discretion to deny the request to rezone? I was quoted by Bethany that it is the fair share doctrine, which at the East Manchester meeting was brought into questioning by a Fox 43 reporter. And Bethany gave me that it was both for both housing and non-residential uses. The zoning officer shall apply the standards and requirements that are used, permitting the zoning ordinance that is the most comparable in scale, character, and impact. So my question is, when I had people read it that were familiar with law, they were kind of concerned that they felt it meant more residential than commercial, so I'm kind of wondering why we're sliding over to that. And then I went to the East Manchester meeting, and they gave out a really nice handout. And basically, they were stating that, the MPC, which is the municipality and planning code, leaves us open to ordinance challenges from developers. A court could then override local control and allow a data center to be built anywhere, without the township's ability to set rules on location, noise, water use, or appearance. By adopting an ordinance now, the township ensures data centers are, 1, properly located in suitable areas, strictly regulated, and subject to local and environmental safety standards. Also, I think we need to be aware that when these data centers are decommissioned, an average of 22% of this waste is recycled. The reason being is these hold financial records, our personal information, so most of those records will be discarded via unsafe means such as burning, which releases harmful chemicals and substances into the air surrounding the community. I don't know if you're aware of, but the York Lung Association has deemed, North Haven and our surrounding areas one of the worst airs to breathe in Pennsylvania. Also, I got these statistics from Manglesworth and Bayham, 2025, born electric, burn toxic, the life cycle of generative AI and its environmental impact. So, holding a public hearing and approving this ordinance did not mean that the data center was coming. It means the township nor the courts or developers decide where and how one could exist with strong enforceable safeguards to protect the residents, property values, and environment. The township supervisors were being proactive and responsible to protect their residents, and I'm talking about East Manchester. I feel as, getting a handout and not from my own board, I feel that our board feels, I feel that they appear to be uneducated and unprepared. The result then is that as a community, we are unprotected and uninformed. I am asking the board, how much time have you spent in researching this? I'm just curious. I went up to Middlesex Township because I remember coming to a meeting and everybody kept saying that, Loudoun Township, County in Virginia, that a lot of your data was coming from there. So I ran up to Middlesex Township, not in my back pocket, thank you. There was a gal there, the reason I went there, her name was Lori, she did not give her last name, but they had, at this event, they had experts in every field. And Lori was from Loudoun County, Virginia. And she stated, and that's called the data center capital of America. She stated that data centers come in clusters. They affect the whole community. If you click on to a YouTube documentary, she validated mostly what was said in those documentaries. The reason I went up there was I was tired of getting secondhand information. I wanted to hear from the horse's mouth. And like I said, the other thing that brought in consideration from these people was that Pennsylvania is full of sinkholes. That you have to be aware of. A sinkhole, data centers are heavier than even a warehouse. So you have to be, I don't know if you're familiar with Central High School had a problem with a sinkhole.
Mary Ann, are you going to wind up shortly?
Yes, I am.
We do have a time limit and we want to give everybody a chance to speak.
Okay. My point is, there were animal effects. If you're a hunter, the gal did an overlay of a data center over top of, a data center with the animal effects. It will affect your hunting and it will affect your fishing. So, what is the plan when data centers decommission and townships are left with stranded assets? I think we only need to look at Record Club of America in Manchester. The township must have a CVA, a certified verified agent, that is hired by a third party to evaluate the data center to make sure that it is up to code per the agreement that is chosen. While this is not a data center agreement, but it can be added, and a CVA, a community benefit agreement, must be established by our township to protect the community. Also, I would like to know, I was told by the planning commission that NERDA was not in effect, but now there's a new program called Pilot, and I would like to know of any tax incentives and that type of thing given to these people.
Okay, thank you, Mary Ann. Do we have?
What about her questions? She asked a lot of questions.
She asked a lot of questions. As of right now, we have nothing on our books as far as a data center, approaching us. We don't have, but we do have to have it somewhere listed in our, on our map. Do one of these guys wanna take that?
Sure. Yeah, so I think as she kind of led off with, it's, the proposed proposal, there was some proposals that were submitted in the form of text amendments by various groups. That's still at the planning commission stage, that hasn't made its way to us. There's nothing really that they've even decided on that, they're still on the information gathering phase, okay? So it's kind of premature, a lot of those are questions that we aren't really in a position to answer at this point, because we don't know what's gonna be presented to us or recommended to us, what those final things are gonna look like. I mean, there's competing things that have been submitted, there's other things that could be done independently, where it's just something that the planning commission recommends their own version of it, then it has to get here, go through an analysis here. So a lot of those things are so far distant from us, you know, there's still several stages they have to go through before we would see what
Aren't
it
you
is.
sitting in with the planning commission, meeting?
The supervisors generally
No,
don't.
you.
I did, I'm not gonna be doing that any further.
Why is that?
There's gonna be a different attorney that's gonna handle that.
Why is that?
Specific to the data center.
Yeah, why can't you be that part of that data center? I'm just curious. I know the answer, I'd like you to tell that.
I'm doing it so there's no conflict of interest.
What would that conflict of interest be?
That,
With you specifically?
with me,
Yeah.
The end of land.
What is the conflict of interest? They have a right to know.
Yeah,
there's
please
no
tell us.
conflict of interest.
You just said there was.
You're attempting to make sure there isn't one. What would
Right.
that conflict of interest be?
That there are people in my firm who have had contact with the people that are proposing the data center.
People or you?
I have not. But in order to make sure there's.
And I respect that, thank you. Thank you for doing it. I just wanted that connection to be stated.
Okay, next,
Can I ask a question about that?
I'm okay with that if you are. I will
It's just
speak
a
on
real
it.
quick question. Regarding.
your name, please.
I'm sorry, Jessica C, 115 Howard Road. Would the person that covered the resident of the law allow to accomplish the data center? Do you know?
I have no idea offhand.
Jamie Lagana, 535 East Butter Road. First of all, I wanted to thank those who went out for election, and gave me the 600 plus votes that I did get. Obviously, I did not win. Congratulations, Mr. McDonald. I will tell everybody though that I have had a conversation with him, and he does have my full support. You do. You've earned, I did not know him prior to the election. I didn't know anything about him other than hearsay. I have zero issue with Mr. McDonald. He has my support.
Okay, thank you, Jim.
I will also state that in no more than 4 years, I will be running again. So, keep that in the back of mind. I have an issue. Mr. Cup, I emailed you no less than 4 times 2 weeks ago asking for an official email for Loretta. You refused to give it to me.
I did not refuse. If you read the emails, I said when I get authorization, because they were not listed on the website at that time. Once they were listed, did you not get the email?
I got the email hours later. They were still not listed at that point in time. You gave them to me when she said it was okay.
That's right.
Secondly, I am told and seeing disparaging remarks coming from you directly about myself and other citizens in the township. Thirdly, I would like to know why a township manager is going to the residents of township citizens to plead with police officers to not arrest an aggressor on site when the police were called for that one night. That is a serious abuse of your position, and it's absolutely unbecoming of a township manager.
I did
This
not
should be
go down
addressed
as a township
completely.
manager. I went down as a personal
You
friend.
shouldn't be, you don't even live there. You were called, you came, you addressed the officer, you told the officer who you were, specifically, your position, and asked that officer to not press charges, please, or lower the charges. It was a stalking
never
charge
asked
that got
that
pushed down to a misdemeanor harassment charge due to him going out personally to the police officer and pleading for them to lower those charges.
I never asked.
That is
that.
unbecoming of yourself as a township manager, and I hope that the 3 of you do something about it.
We have already addressed that,
I wanted everybody else to hear it.
and, that won't happen again.
Thank
So
you.
we did address that. Thank you.
You should be up there on that board.
Give it time.
Okay.
With the meter, 1995, Judge Worth. Just hearing some of the questions here today, I'm trying to pause after my questions, make sure you have a good chance to answer. If a resident would like to propose an ordinance update or a new ordinance, what is the process for that? I wasn't able to locate that on the website.
I'm not sure what you're asking. Would you like to have an ordinance of some kind, updated or,
Perhaps.
okay. If you do, you come in and you can file a paper with us and we can research it. Just like we're gonna do with the gentleman with the junk trucks.
Okay, so is there a standardized form that's available on the website so I can do that ahead of time?
A simple email will do it.
Okay. And who does that get emailed to?
It could get sent to the office administrator, it could be sent to, actually, any one of us, and we would forward it. Anything that we get, we do forward to, I'll forward it to the other members of the board.
Oh, and then take it into consideration?
Exactly.
Okay, thank you. And then I know you guys referenced a planning commission and a new lawyer that's being hired. Has that been updated in the budget proposal that you're reviewing tonight at the added cost of that, or will that cost be deducted from our current solicitor's fees?
We would still need a solicitor. It doesn't matter who it would be, so that is in the budget.
Okay.
So if we do not have Mr. McDonald there, we would have another attorney there.
But we're not incurring additional costs?
No, no additional
We
cost.
all bill at hourly rate, so if it's either I'm working on something or another attorney would be.
Okay, so you haven't had to increase the budget because of
No,
that?
there's no retainer fees or anything, it's just an hourly rate.
Thank you.
But thanks for asking, it's a good question.
And then, you also mentioned that the planning commission's just still kind of talking about stuff. I know they didn't have a meeting this month again. It seems to be kind of repetitious that they have about one meeting out of 12. But when will the planning commission provide a timeline on the data centers for you guys to begin that review process? And in that timeline of doing that work, will they be asking for, public comment before it goes official, or public participation in that? Because this is a very, very large subject.
Yeah, and the planning commission is meeting in December, December 15th?
Yeah.
So, everybody's welcome to go to that. I think we are gonna have it here. I don't think, so close to the holidays, I don't think we wanna interrupt the church's events.
Okay, that makes sense. But do you think that, as the people who direct the work of the planning commission, they report to you, they were hired by you, is that something that you guys are looking to ask them for as a timeline, or proposing that they involve the community in the writing of this? Or are we just going to rely on external support for that, besides the attorney?
Okay, as far as the supervisors, we don't, direct the planning on anything they do. They give us their recommendation, and then they send it to us, and then we can act on it. If you have anything specific, maybe you could just direct it to the manager, the assistant, and they can pass it on to that board.
Okay, and what is the status on filling that last position? Because again, that's something that you as a board of supervisors, my understanding, are supposed to approve.
We have, I think, 5, applications in, and that'll be announced at our reorganization meeting in January. It's the first Monday in January. By code, we have to, have our meeting the first Monday. The date? You
I
know?
think it's January 5th.
Okay.
Okay, so personnel updates will be announced then?
Yes,
or-
yes.
Okay, and have the people who have applied for that volunteer position been notified of a tentative, or?
We ask all of them to come to the, planning meeting and just to see what it's like. We asked them to come to the last one. I don't think we scared anybody away at that point, but, we'll see, if we invite them, if they come, and, it's not a requirement.
And then who makes the final selection on that? I know before you referenced that you were gonna allow Bethany to do the hiring for that position.
We recommended that she does the, breaking them down and doing, screening, instead of giving us, if we had 5, 10, 15,
There were only 5 applicants.
yeah, right.
So what is there to, I guess I'm a little confused on what there is to screen. I work in HR,
Yeah.
so
Well,
I
she would,
understand the
and that,
process.
she probably would give us all 5. We have not seen them yet,
So you haven't had any
no.
conversation?
I couldn't give you any names or anything, I have no idea who they are.
You guys are gonna be expected to vote on that January 5th, so
Right, and we'll
30
get,
days.
yeah, we'll get all that information.
Okay, that's a little concerning.
I don't know,
I do hiring all the time.
okay.
30 days is a pretty small window, and I'm assuming the person's gonna have to have some level of background investigation,
Yeah.
Conflict of interest review.
And I'm sure you work more than 1 day a month,
I do.
okay?
I also volunteer for multiple organizations that I spend many hours volunteering,
Okay,
so
all right,
I understand that.
okay, thank you,
Thank
Marissa.
you.
Okay, we're almost running out of time here.
I do have one more thing. I do want everybody to understand this ordinance. It was caught by Ginny, who, is the Food and Water Watch person, when I went to Middlesex Township. In the application process that Sheree was talking about, it says permit the use of a data center by right. Under that clause, that closes by right, it means it's not up for update. It takes away our power to talk and discuss it. I just want you to know that was slid in there.
Mr. Zander,
How would I, before I, refer to this, Ms. Loretta, I guess I was,
I'm fine, anybody. I've been called a lot of things, so Miss Loretta's fine.
thank you, Ms. Loretta Shelby. James Zander, 830 Burma Road. Really don't have much of a horse in the game. I'm up in conservation. I'm here on behalf of the other people. First question, is there a written procedure on who reviews requests for agenda item additions? Because I requested 3 different ones by email on the 26th, and I don't know if they were added to the agenda, so we're in this period now asking these questions.
Yeah, and I don't think they were added to the agenda, but and you sent them to me, and I'm fine with you, going through the 3 questions you had.
It wasn't 3 questions, they were topics.
Okay, 3 topics.
But that being said, for future reference, how much of a lead time would you all prefer to have if anybody wishes to submit them for a possible agenda item?
We do our agenda items on a Thursday, so the following Tuesday. Now, in January, we might do them on a Wednesday or before because of the holidays. Yeah, probably Tuesday, at the
Safe
end of
to
the
say
month.
if somebody gives more than a week notice, though?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, okay. Okay, regarding the supervisors, I'm asking for a simple hand showing, that way it's easy to answer these questions possibly. Will you have the final vote on the, final overlay that gets proposed by the zoning commission?
The supervisors have the final say, and at this point, it'll be John and I.
Understand. Okay. Who here has, of the supervisors, has already reached out to those who are more well-versed on the topic of the data centers?
Excuse me?
I don't consider myself an informed expert, so I go online and I start researching as the rest of the community has. Have the 2 who will be voting, have either of you spent any time looking into those who are more well-versed, pros, cons, et cetera?
We did do a lot, you did a lot of, as far as being with planning and zoning. Now, Josh and I even went down to, the data center and, took pictures and some sounds and, you know, we read all we can, we get a lot of emails, so we do read those, and, I know more about data centers than I ever wanted to know. But yes, we do a lot of research.
Thank you.
And our engineer and our lawyer also.
Yeah, and for example, Xander, I spent some time, with an environmental, study, person this past week, before Thanksgiving. She's actually in Lancaster. Lancaster's putting, I believe, 4, data centers in. And, we talked about some of the things that they're, coming up against, within the different townships there, around, environmental concerns as well as, the ordinances that they're building. So it was definitely in line.
Out of curiosity, is it Elysian building those as well as are a different building?
It's different. That one's different.
Thank you.
So here's my concern, John. We can't keep up on ordinances in our township. How are we gonna keep up ordinances on a data center? I have a neighbor, and I told you about her. This has been a 2-year thing. It only got worked on for about a month and a half. There's a house down the street that caught fire 2 years ago. It's still sitting empty. And I thought the rules were before you build a new house, you have to take the old house down. How are we going to be able to handle a data center when we can't handle everyday zoning issues? We can't. We have a huge problem with this. We
Okay,
can't
thank you.
handle trucks and stuff.
Mr. Zander has the, floor. Thank you.
A very good point. We have a little bit of trouble on.
Following up, regarding, reaching out, attempting to, expand your knowledge base, because this is gonna really make a big impact on our community. Our community is now aware that the data center business people, I couldn't make so, I apologize. The community is now aware that data center business people, those who wanna come in, and I'm gonna put it nicely, I don't think they have our best interests in mind because they're here to make money. In my opinion, a lot of others. But, what do you all plan to do to further increase your knowledge? Because where I'm going with is, it seems as if there's been other townships that have found a way to make them, shall we say, less invitable, but still skirt that line, where it's not like you can be sued.
Right.
Have any of you reached out to other townships where they've been able to try and stay on that side? Or to those who, like we had, I think it was last month, somebody was here speaking, who has helped other, they're what, from out east? They had helped other, townships and whatnot.
Okay, that was the thing.